Great. Okay, so I am here with Kelly Beck. We connected when we were in Austin last year to do some Soothe workshops at her yoga studio, which is such a lovely, lovely venue, the Village Yoga and Movement Studio in New Braunfels, Texas. And yeah, we are so excited to collaborate together on this retreat offering. I'm wondering if you can just share a little bit about your history and with yoga and your training background and what kind of your focus is with the practice.
Yeah, well, first of all, so excited to be here. Cannot wait to be a part of all this and to be a part of a retreat that's just going to be so impactful and part of a retreat and experience that is just not very common. So I think what you're putting together is so unique and so I think that's just what has me so excited. It's not a traditional retreat. It feels like it's diving even more deeper and nervous system regulation is something that I'm just really passionate about. It's something that we talk about a ton at the village. It is part of our ethos. So just so happy to be a part of this. So yeah, my background, I was a collegiate athlete and then I was a professional athlete, and I started doing yoga for probably the reasons of just I just wanted to feel better. I knew I was doing some major weightlifting, and just it just felt like I was training in a way that almost it was like I was probably training like most CrossFitters train now. I'll be yeah, because I joke around. I'm like, oh yeah, I did that. I already CrossFit. That's cute. That's what I did for many years. I don't need that anymore. And that's kind of what it was like. I just remember just wanting to feel better in my body. And it almost started off also it was definitely like a physical journey for me. It was not, I was not, I had no intentions of it being this mind body practice, and it had me having like spiritual awakenings and like all these things that I have now had. But so it was like I came into it with one thing. And I think this is very common. I hear this a lot, is that you get into it for one reason and then it cracks you wide open to all these other reasons why you're supposed to be here. And that was it for me. It was like I feel like I showed up with this with wanting to, I don't know, I just was like, I heard it helps people feel better, and that's what I want to do. I just want to feel better with my muscles and my body. Like, and then that was back in 2003. I think I was in college and I started that. I was an athlete in college, and I would go to the rec center and do that. And then it it shifted and formed, and I had a great personal practice for many years. I had an in studio practice with an amazing community out in Colorado. And then eventually I became a teacher in 2010. And my bread and butter forever and ever was privates. Was I did small groups and privates. And there was something just really intimate about that. I loved working one-on-one with people. That was where I feel like I was supposed to be. But in the midst of all of that, I ended up going through a really hard time getting pregnant, and had years of infertility. Ended up finally having my baby, my miracle baby, but she came very early and she ended up being a NICU baby. And we were living with family at the time. It was supposed to be a transition place. And we ended up living with family longer. I ended up getting postpartum depression and anxiety and OCD and having a traumatic delivery, cesarean. And my whole world just came crashing down, and movement and yoga was not available to me. It was not accessible like it had been for so many years. And that was when I realized that was 11 years ago, in 2007. That's when I realized that the world needed yoga studios for mamas. The world needed a place for caregivers to have child watch, and not just a big Gold's Gym that had child watch. I needed an intimate studio experience. Um, and it wasn't available. The entire state of Colorado didn't have child watch with yoga. The entire nation had 5 studios at the time with Child Watch, and I have since visited or talked to all the owners at all of them. And it just plunged me into this idea of that I had to open a studio one day. I had to create a space where caregivers could come together, but not only come together and have a space, but I wanted them to have a place where it was beautiful and there was showers and there was child watch for hours at a time, and there would be workshops with root cause healing, because that's a whole nother subject I know we're both very passionate about, is like not just superficial surface level healing and losing weight and what, like that. It's not, it's truly, for me, it's about working with people with deep root cause work and being able to help them get to the root of what that could be, because just having people feel their best and having people feel that empowered to be their best healer, to be their greatest healer themselves, is something that I'm just also really passionate about. So it's a mix of a few different things now, wanting to help caregivers and wanting to help people with root cause healing. But I don't have all the tools. As many hats as I love to wear, I don't have all the tools. And that's why I love having people like you in our life and having resources like you in our community here, is that if I can help people get a little bit curious and then show them the resources and work with wellness partners like yourself and have these connections to people that I know can help people go down those wormholes and heal, that is just, that's kind of where we're at with things right now. And so to be able to partner with people like you, it's just, that's what this is all about. Because we don't know it all. And that is why we need a village. That's the name of the business, is the village. And so that's where this like ethos came, where it's like, it takes a village, like, and with mothers especially, like, we need more support. We need our villages. This is what thousands of years ago, like, women were like the head of the villages, and so it was just, I feel like there's almost a missing place for us right now in society. And so I really, I'm determined. I vow to do this work the rest of my life. And so the way that, so I can just jump right into some of the classes that I love to teach and that I'm really passionate about teaching personally, because I think there's a yin and a yang to everything, right? I have teachers that have beautiful, slow, restorative yin style practices. And then I have teachers that are power and that are somatic and that have all this, there's deep. I mean, there can be somatic work in yin as well, but there's, for me, it is about somatic movement in a sense of shaking things up. For years and years, before I even knew that this was called nervous system regulation, what I was doing nervous system regulated work. I was shaking, I was dancing, I was like, literally, it was a saying that I would say all the time, is that we have to come in this room to let go of the excess that builds in our day-to-day life. Whether you realize it or not, it constantly is building. And so that, for me, the types of classes that I'm going to be teaching at this retreat are going to be just that, they're going to allow for grace and grit. I think that is something that I preach about a lot, is like, we can find an edge in these classes and they're going to be challenging it. But I also do a great job of like reminding that this is also your cue available to you as well today. And that is your grace if you need that today. So if you want to find yourself with an edge in my classes, you can, and we will go there. But if you just need to just show up today and do what you can, that is available for you as well. And so that is something I'm just really excited about. We'll definitely probably dance. We'll definitely be shaken. We'll definitely sweat and cry and move and just be in a way. I love to curate playlists. Like, playlist making is my love language. So that'll be part of it too. Because again, I just know how powerful music can be with the type of work that we're going to be doing at this retreat. And yeah, I don't know. I just went off there. That was a long-winded answer there.
I love it, and I just resonate with so much of what you're saying, and that's part of why as soon as we connected online and like I heard that your studio was called The Village, I immediately knew we were gonna get along because that idea of this like eclectic, holistic kind of collective mindset around like yeah, there's never one person that can be the like complete expert in everything. It's just not possible and it's not really effective. Like people need to take pieces of different modalities and different aspects of wisdom traditions and like curate it, to make their own individualized healing practice. And so I feel like I'm just kind of like gathering awesome people all over the country to be connected with who have like a piece of that, like
Yeah.
a glimmering sliver of like they're part of that, and I think this retreat is such a unique combination of a lot of different people's skills. So yeah, it definitely fits with the ethos like you're saying of what you're just been running your studio with already. It's incredible.
Yeah.
I am really curious if I could go back a little bit. You mentioned being a college athlete and doing like really intense workouts, and it just made me think because I feel like a lot of my clients that come to me, you probably see this too, are people who were athletes, right? Or were workaholics, or in some way like
Yes.
pushed themselves really, really
Yes.
hard for a long time. And it's amazing how often how far we can push ourselves before things just like crack.
Yep. Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, it sounds like yoga became a new way maybe to approach movement that was more in tune with your body. But I guess I'm just wondering if you could tell me a
Yeah.
little bit more about your story with that transition.
No, for sure. I mean, I joke around because here's the thing too. I was the person that found my edge and then I went beyond my edge and then I got really, really sick and then I regretted not knowing what grace really meant. I was the definition of yang, 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 all go all the time, gas pedal all the time. And it got me in trouble. And I joke around that before 2019, when I got sick, that I was the healthiest, unhealthy person I knew because I was running on pure cortisol, adrenals, like maxed out, not eating my best, and going 9 to 5 and being proud of being that type A person and never taking a yin class and never taking restorative and only doing power and only doing boot camps and only doing like these hard ass things and just not at all like honoring the femininity of me and my cycles and my life and like just understanding how much I'm connected to nature and just all these things. I was caught up in, typical diet culture, typical like it was a burnout ready to happen. And so I think I don't even realize what I was like trying to do back then was needing to slow down, but I really didn't slow down for many, many years. Like it took me getting really, really sick. And that's what I see a lot. I see it so often. And that's why I joke about the CrossFitters. I joke about the type A'ers. I joke about the yes people where you're just constantly saying yes and constantly pouring in everybody else. That it's like, your time will come. Like it is only a matter of time before your body says like, I am like, there will be dis-ease in the body at some point. It's inevitable. And so that is just something that I preach all the time at the studio, whether it's in person or in our marketing or whatever, all the efforts are. It's really teaching our members how to pull back and how to understand nervous system regulation. I am so glad people are talking about nervous system regulation because I think everybody just thinks it's totally normal to just stay at this high level of anxiety right now. Or even like
Right.
even our high, like everybody's normalizing just low level anxiety.
Right.
Like constant palpitations and nervousness and on edge and fight or flight. Like we're normalizing that and we're all making jokes about it and stupid memes. And we're encouraging that, just grab a happy hour, it'll make it better. And like, just all of this. And it's like, I just, I know people have to be their own health advocates, but if I can just still just keep preaching this message that like we have to slow down, we have to honor the grace and not just stay grit all the time. There has to be a yin to the yang. That's why the yin yang was created thousands of years ago, whether it was called that then or not. But we all knew that there was this balance. But in 2023, it's beyond crazy, like the fast-paced life that we are somehow all normalizing.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and it
So,
sounds like your classes really try to help people find that balance between the grace and the grit, and that you can feel strong and empowered in your body and find that inner fire and find that power flow, but in a way that's honoring like what your nervous system is
right,
actually asking for.
right.
Like there's a balance there.
Yeah. In my classes, you will hear the word maybe a ton, because it's just this offering to yourself where it's like, stay here or maybe go here. Like,
Yeah.
or do this, or if you want more, go here. Like, I modify up and I modify down. At the beginning of my classes, I just make it very clear. And I feel like this empowers people, is to be like, you can either stay right here, or for all I care, you just lay down on the mat. The whole 60 minutes, you just lay down if that's what you need today. That is available to you. And so just offering a space where people can feel safe, they can feel comfortable to move in a way that feels good for them. But I also have a lot of fun. We do a lot of dancing and singing and laughing and just making it fun. We have to, like, that's the thing. I think yoga can be very serious, and it's a beautiful thing for it to be serious. And I love that too. I think the biggest deal in my classes is just trying to make it accessible for people, that they just feel comfortable, because we laugh, we cry, we will definitely do some breath work. That is for sure. And we will move in a way that just feels accessible for you. And I give a lot of cues, like I said, to either modify up or down. And but it will be somatic. There will be this release that you will feel in these classes, because we do some shaking, we do some good. I will set these intentions. I cannot wait for the intentions that I have in mind for this. Yeah, so it's just, I think everything's going to build for the retreat. Everything is just going to keep building on top of each other. Yeah, I think right now it's, whenever you can find a small group of people that are coming together with a goal in mind, that may even be, I don't even think some people will sign up for this. They'll sign up with one goal in mind, what they think they want out of it, but then they will be cracked wide open and shown something totally different. I don't even think we realize how powerful this eclipse is, and what it's going to do on just a energetic level, just energetic, what it's going to do for us. But if we allow it, it can help us in so many other ways. I think whenever you have a space full of people like this, especially with the people that I know that are facilitating this event, people are going to have huge breakthroughs. People are going to feel safe. They're going to feel able to share in a way that probably they've never been able to share before. They will be able to take huge leaps and bounds in their healing journey, but they're not only going to learn there, we're going to also provide people with the tools that they get to now put inside their imaginary little fanny pack, their little tool belt, that will then be able to go back into their 9-to-5 life. And they will be able to have huge integration into how to take this work that we're going to do with them over the weekend into their lives. And I think that's also powerful too. And I think that's a piece that's missing a lot of time in retreats, the integration piece. And I feel very good about the tools that we're going to be teaching them, and how to regulate their bodies, how to go back to work the next day after this retreat and be told X, Y, and Z, bad news, or stressful this or stressful that. And you'll just be able to just take it in a way and process it in a way that is so much different than you had before you experienced this retreat. So I really am excited about being able to give people tools, because I don't want to be the only point that helps people heal. I don't want to be the reason that they have to keep coming back to me. I want to be able to give them the tools that then they can go on in their life and spread it. You know, I talk about that a ton in my classes. At the end of all my classes, I always say, like, whatever you learn today on the mat, that magical 6 feet of real estate, take that off the mat. And I challenge you to take that into your community, take that back to your villages, take that back to your friends and your family. What did you experience on the mat today that can help somebody else? Because that, to be of service, is our, I mean, once you find your dharma, which, you know, is to be of service, is your true calling. Like once you figure out how to be of service and to help people like that, it changes everything. And I really think that the work that people are going to be doing at this event is going to allow them to not only help themselves, but then just help their immediate family and their village. I feel really strong about that, what's going to happen at this retreat. Yeah.
Oh, it's so beautiful. Thank you, Kelly. I appreciate it. Are there any last things you want to say or should I?
Oh man, I'm so excited to meet the other facilitator. And then I know Caitlin Garrison, who's doing the sound healing. I mean, she is just
We're
another.
interviewing her next, actually.
Okay, awesome. Awesome. Hey, Mike.
Hi
I mean,
there.
I just am so thankful for the people that are going to be there. And I think we are just going, and the location is so good. And we're going to be able to go get in the lake. And that is so exciting to me because it's going to be cold and it's this clear crystal bottom lake. It's completely clear. And so there's just this beautiful location, like, and there's going to be cardinals and there's going to be hawks and there's going to be like all these just amazing animals all around us around the lake there. And so it's just, and the fact that we're going to be doing so many events and classes outside too, I just think we're going to be just
Yeah.
so connected. And then by the time that solar eclipse, I'm like, oh, oh, I'm frozen. I've got goosies.
Oh, I know you're on such a roll. There it is. There it is.
Goosies all on my legs. Like I just, it's going to be beautiful. And so I am just so thankful that this all worked out like this. I mean, the universe is so good. And so I'm proud of you guys for doing this. This is so cool. You stepping into this next chapter in your lives as well. So it's gonna be really cool. Can't wait.